This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Hello. Welcome to the Horror Fried Podcast. That's Michael Combs.
That's Mike Martin.
And that's good old Keith Clanton.
Hello. How's your mom
Hey.
and them? Thanks for joining us, friends. We're reviewing the second film in our Southern Horror series. As a reminder, the full list of movies we'll be reviewing are posted on Instagram at the Horror Fried Podcast, so be sure to check them out. We encourage conversation, so be sure to watch these movies along with us. Now, come sit a spell. Let's talk about Eaten Alive. Michael.
Yes, sir.
Michael.
Yes.
Kick us off.
Well, as you already said, because you stole it from me, we watched Eaten Alive from 1976.
I didn't steal nothing.
You certainly did. Directed by Tobe Hooper, Eaten Alive tells the story of a deranged hotel owner who meets an eclectic cast of characters, including a prostitute, a family needing a place to sleep, and a father and daughter looking for their missing family member. Chaos ensues. Oh, and did I mention the hotel owner has a pet crocodile? Starring Neville Brand as the motel owner Judd, Marilyn Burns as Faye, Robert Englund as Buck, and Kyle Richards as Angie.
Whew. And it's a much bigger cast, but those are just... There's a lot of people in this movie.
Yes.
So, to start the conversation, because I don't know if y'all heard the first episode, which I hope you did at this point, but we were a little all over the place, so we're trying to make this a little bit more streamlined. So our story begins at a local brothel, where we're introduced to Carla and her pushy client, Buck. So after a short scuffle, Carla realizes that, you know what, being a prostitute ain't her gig. She's not going to be a good lady of the night. So she checks into the Starlight Hotel, ran by a man named Judd. So let's talk about it. Because there's a lot that happens in that.
I can't say that I'd want to be a lady of the night either for Robert Englund.
Okay. So let me just start off by saying, so obviously Buck has his infamous quote, which I think Tarantino's actually used in one of his movies before, where he says, "Name's Buck, I'm raring to fuck." And really the first thing you see is him opening like his belt buckle.
That's
Yeah.
literally the opening scene.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing you see. And I wrote my notes, I'm uncomfortable. Because I was uncomfortable. Well, at first I didn't realize that Carla was a prostitute.
Exactly.
And I was like, she does not seem into this, so what is she doing?
I was sitting there and I was like, are we really opening this movie with like a rape scene?
Yes.
Like that was kind of where my brain went with all of it.
Oh, really? No, I thought she was a prostitute, but
Really?
Oh, I did. Not,
I did.
Why did you think that though?
I don't know, just the way she was dressed and the way he was talking to her. I was like, oh, this must be a whorehouse.
I almost just thought it was like a couple that was like at a hotel or something.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get that vibe.
I did get that vibe. She just seemed really uncomfortable, and I thought, a lady of the night is a professional.
She
would
should be
not
down for
acting
anything.
like that. So I just thought it was a couple too. I didn't know what was happening. I thought that the music, the very first thing I wrote was the music was really good and creepy during the opening credits. So I really liked the score of this. And it's pretty great overall, I think. I mean, Michael, you're the pro here. What do you think?
Oh God, I hated the score.
You hated the score?
Hated the score.
Oh, but you like the score for Chud.
I love the score for Chud. I did not like the score at all.
actually-
I thought it was awful.
A little on that side of things.
Yeah.
It wasn't that to be completely honest, I probably felt a little impartial about it altogether. But I did like the fact that every time music played, it seemed to be like to make an uncomfortable scene even
More
more
uncomfortable. I could see that. They
that
were
was-
effective that way.
Because it's like, but yeah, that was kind of my takeaway from the music, was that it was more to like enhance an already like very uncomfortable moment.
Dirty. The music to me was dirty. Like,
Oh, it's very
it was
dirty.
dirty
It's
and
gritty.
like I really liked it. I thought it elevated I just really liked the music.
I am surprised that you liked it. No, I thought it was awful.
I did. That was the first note I wrote. Like, whenever the opening credits come up and you hear that music, I was like, oh, I like
you were
this.
into it?
I like this already.
You like gritty and dirty.
Yeah, I like it. So one thing that stuck out to me, which is a theme throughout, well, it only happens twice, but it's still a theme, and I'm sure y'all picked up on it too. But Buck seems to be a big fan of anal sex.
Okay. So I actually put that in mine as well. Like, I was sitting here, I was like, what is the deal with, like, Robert Englund in this anal? Like, he obviously has a thing for anal sex.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, is this like a...
Repressed?
Is this one of those, like, Southern country boy repressed
for sure
vibes that I'm getting?
That's what I thought too. I was like, is this a closeted homosexual? And he's performing anal sex on all these women so he don't necessarily have to look at them, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was in this. I mean, it definitely happens again, and we can get there later when we start talking about that the last act of the movie. But I couldn't remember if it was with Carla or his other little girlfriend, Lynette, who I thought her name was Annette, and all in my notes I talk about Annette, and it's actually Lynette. But they say something, and he says, "Oh, it's better this way," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
She ain't even prepared. She hadn't had a flea enema or nothing. I'm sorry.
He didn't care.
I mean,
He wanted to get in there.
yeah, he really didn't. So, yeah, I mean, that's just a dirty scene, and you feel nasty during it. So
You feel nasty during this whole movie.
you really do. It's a dirty
Yeah.
movie.
I put that, like, actually, so I'll just go ahead and say this because this was one of the things that I was just going to bring up. Just an overall question. I'm just curious, if you had to, like, summarize your feeling of this movie in one word, what would it be?
Dirty.
Yeah. Gritty.
Dirty.
All these adjectives have come up, and they're all in my notes.
Unsettling.
Yeah.
That was the...
Well, even in the part where Faye, and this isn't like a big plot point or anything, not really, but she goes to take a shower in that bathroom.
That bathroom was disgusting. I
like,
wouldn't take a bath.
I would not shit in that bathroom.
Brush my teeth? No.
Well, I mean, so the first time we show up at Starlight Hotel,
Yeah.
I literally was sitting there, I was like, you couldn't pay me to stay in this place.
Dilapidated,
I'll
like
just keep driving down
dirty.
the
It was
highway
dirty.
and sleep
He's
in
not
my
a good
car.
housekeeper.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly has no maid.
No.
Okay. But yeah, Starlight Hotel. Just nasty. So what did you guys think about Judd and Carla's first interaction there during the first act?
I mean, he seemed nice at first, and then he was like,
At
"Are you
first.
from the whorehouse?" And then everything changed.
And then he flipped his switch.
And then, yeah.
Which I don't really, I guess, know why. Like, that was kind of
Yeah.
my question. I was like, what does he have against, oh, you're from Miss Hattie's?
Is he a religious zealot? Is he sexually repressed? I didn't get either, because he
Yeah,
just
there's-
started beating the shit out of her.
Yeah, there's no backstory there, and it's just kind of funny to me, isn't it? Because it's like, she's a whore, she's got to die, but you're literally murdering people and feeding them to your pet crocodile.
Yeah.
Like, it was a little crazy. No, one thing I did know, whenever he goes into his bedroom, he has a flag of Nazi Germany.
I saw that. I was wondering if he was a Nazi or if he was like in the
Yeah.
war and collected stuff, because I've heard that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw it like it was laying across his chair.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that what I think it is? And it
Oh,
took me a minute,
it was.
and then I was like, no, that's definitely a flag
Yeah,
of
because
Nazi
it's
Germany.
not like hanging up. It's just literally sitting like on a
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not discussed, but yeah.
No. And it'd be easy to miss because it's the way that it's draped on the chair, like it's kind of folded.
You can only
can't
see
see
part of it.
everything.
Yeah.
I
I also love how Clara was barefoot. I feel like that's such a Southern thing. People,
Clara.
the prostitute.
Carla.
I wrote my notes wrong. Sorry.
Well, Annette.
Annette, Clara,
Whatever.
Potato,
was barefoot
potato.
the whole time, and I'm like, this is such a southern.
Was she barefoot the whole time?
I noticed that.
I actually didn't notice.
She was
I didn't
fucking
either.
barefoot the whole time, walking through the woods, walking to
so
hotel.
disgusting.
It is gross. People in the South love to be barefoot and have these like black feet. I hate it. What do you call it? Grocery store foot or something?
Honey, I still go down to the mailbox sometimes barefoot. Who
No.
are you talking dirty?
No.
Dina Carter ran out and got her CMA with bare feet.
She sure did. Kelly Clarkson performs on stage.
That's how I know a grocery store foot, because she mentioned it, and this happens to be taking place in Texas, and she's Texan.
Yeah.
She called it grocery
I
store
I
honestly-
foot.
like to call that barefoot and fancy free.
It's so gross to me. No, it is gross.
We're just free spirited, okay, in the
No,
South.
that's footloose and fancy free.
It doesn't matter.
Same thing.
It works.
Whatever. Yeah, she's barefoot the whole time.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
She was very pretty.
She was pretty.
And I felt bad for her.
I did too. She was, yeah.
I felt really bad for her. So, okay, now I may be getting this wrong, but Hattie.
Yes, Miss Hattie.
Miss Hattie. That's actually the woman that played Morticia on the Addams Family television show.
I didn't look it up. It could be. She'd been around a long time.
I looked it
so
up, and I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
I kind of love that.
Yeah. But
That
you know,
is
her
fun.
makeup was weird. It was very
Low
Tobe
budget.
Hooper.
Yeah.
Like it reminded me of the grandpa in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like that
Yeah.
over the top fucking makeup to make you look like you're 127 years old. Like that was
Yeah.
the same type of makeup. You
Oh,
know?
This had a makeup budget of $20, so it doesn't surprise me.
They did their own makeup, I'm pretty sure.
Probably their own clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming that she's supposed to be the head of the whorehouse.
Oh, she
Yes,
is.
yes, she's the
the
mother.
Dolly Parton.
Well, she is no Dolly Parton.
She certainly is not.
But
Sure.
speaking of that, though, because I actually did kind of like have this little fleeting thought about it was giving me very like mix of Best Little Whorehouse and Rocky Horror Picture Show vibes. Like
Yeah.
when, what is it, Roy and Faye? They're the couple.
Oh, yeah.
When they like come rolling up in the Starlight Hotel or whatever, it seemed very like Brad and Janet.
Oh, I could see that.
And like Judd was like riffraff kind of
Yeah.
vibes. Like that was.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I see that
was
now.
Kind of the vibe that I was getting, and of course coming from the whorehouse, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, some Best Little Whorehouse mixed with some Rocky Horror. Oh, okay.
Okay. Very interesting. So I'm glad that you mentioned our little family because, you know, they come up pretty soon. So soon after Carla's unfortunate demise, family of 4
With a pitchfork.
with a pitchfork.
He has
I
a
know.
few weapons,
And she
but
had
yeah.
that really pretty green shirt on.
Yeah.
Bless her heart. So a family of 4. We've got Roy, Faye, their daughter Angie, and then their dog Snoopy arrive. Initially just to use the hotel's facility, but Snoopy is soon gobbled up by Judd's pet crocodile, and the family checks in to a room to calm down their traumatized daughter. Obviously played by Kyle Richards. Meanwhile, Harvey and his daughter Libby arrive, and they're searching for Libby's missing sister Carla. So, what do we think about Roy, Faye, and Angie?
Oh my God. Roy is
Fucking crazy.
weird as fuck.
I mean, at first, it didn't seem
Yeah, they seemed normal.
odd. Like, it seemed pretty normal. I mean, they...
Did they? No, I feel
mean,
like they were
yeah.
kind of weird to begin with.
Well, first of all,
And then it got really
Faye
weird.
pulls up in that wig.
Right.
And my first thought was, damn, they got some bad wigs in this
I was
movie. But
thinking
then
that
she
too.
takes it off. So I was like, is that a thing women did? That just wore like a wig. And then she's got beautiful long blonde hair. Like, why are you wearing
This ugly wig.
that ugly PE teacher wig? Like,
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, I didn't get any weird vibes when they got out of the car. I thought it was weird. Obviously, it seemed like they were like kind of arguing when they
Yeah.
blew up.
yeah, they're tense.
But so there was that, but I didn't really feel like he was necessarily like weird. Like in his interaction with Judd, like a few minutes later, you know, asking to go to the bathroom or whatever. I didn't really feel like that was odd.
Why would you drive up to a hotel, though, to ask to use the bathroom? When you use a gas station?
Yeah, but you gotta think this is what, 1976?
Rural
in the middle of
Texas.
rural Texas. There's nothing out there except for this dilapidated hotel.
And the whorehouse.
A bar and a whorehouse. and
I'd
a
use the
police
whorehouse,
station.
but...
Well, I mean, it's not very kid-friendly. Angie had to go use the restroom, so...
She went to go look at the monkey
Yes, his pet monkey.
that died.
Judd had
That was a
pet
weird
monkey.
scene.
That was a weird scene, and she's like, "Mommy, it's dead." Oh, it is. Your monkey's dead.
Yeah.
And then he threw it to the crocodile.
He had lunch. Crocodile had lunch.
Oh my god, y'all! I just have to say this really quick. During this movie, as soon as you're introduced to this little family, and poor Snoopy is gobbled up by the crocodile, Kyle Richards. Obviously, I'm a Kyle Richards. Well, Mike, we all love Kyle Richards. So this is probably one of her first roles. All she does is cry, whine,
And scream.
moan, and scream literally the entire time. And there was one point I was like, okay, bitch, like, you gotta
Get
calm
eaten
down.
She could have got eaten by the crocodile.
Like, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But it was really cute to see her in that movie. I was very excited.
I mean, I feel like back in those days, like, you didn't really... Because, you know, I feel like back then, it was kind of unheard of to show animals getting killed, children getting killed, whatever. So, like, I was actually, when the alligator ate up poor little Snoopy, I was like, oh, they literally just...
They're
showed,
going there.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, in the gator mouth.
Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah.
So...
Speaking of the gator, like, what did you think about the practical effects of the alligator in general? I mean, I know we're just, like, touching base, and there's a lot more of the alligator or the crocodile later, but, like, I'm just
I think for
curious what you thought.
76 low budget, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great, but...
Well, you don't really see much of it.
no.
You see,
And
like, its
I'm sure
mouth,
that's
and I feel
on
like
purpose.
when you see his mouth open, or
Yeah.
her, I don't know, it's like the same, definitely the same head, like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But I thought the effects in the water were pretty good, like when you would see its, like, spine
Swimming
going
around.
through there. So yeah, I read this somewhere online, and I don't know how accurate this is, because there's not really a lot online about this movie.
No.
They had written that Faye was a previous prostitute.
Oh, I read that online, too.
Did you get that?
No.
I didn't get that at all.
Not at all.
Because when
No.
they're arguing, like, obviously he's been laid off, and she's telling him he needs to get a job. You know, meanwhile, poor Angie's on the bed screaming.
Must have been a very hard role for her.
Snoopy, I would do the same thing if something
She was
happened
in
to my
hysterics.
dogs.
I'm
Yeah.
just talking about in general.
Oh.
Hey, Kyle Richards, we're going to really need you to do this part, and all you got to do the whole time is just yell Snoopy, scream, and mouth.
Yeah. And an
She's like, "I
occasional
got it."
mommy daddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard that I read somewhere that she was a previous prostitute, but I just didn't, like, they never mentioned it.
I mean, maybe that's the wig thing.
It could be, and then I'm like, well, Judd obviously hated them from the get-go. Like, maybe
Maybe knew.
who knew something we didn't.
Maybe. Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we'll probably touch on, obviously, Judd quite a bit in this, but I just got so many, like, questions about him.
About Judd?
Yes.
Okay.
Just in general, what did you think? Like, what do you think is wrong with him?
Mentally
I
ill?
think he's just crazy.
Yeah.
Because it just made me so uncomfortable so many times. Like, when
Yeah.
he is up there and he's got Faye, like, tied to the bed and
Yeah.
all this stuff. But he doesn't look like he wants to, like, harm her so
Well, not
much
at first.
At first. Because he's all, like, they're there, like, wiping her tears away and, like, all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't really know, like, what your thing is. Like, that, I guess, was my overlying question about most of it. I didn't really understand what the reasoning was for a lot of his, like...
Maybe he was just obviously mentally unstable, but maybe a little bipolar too.
Oh, definitely.
Because when he introduces himself to all of these characters for the first time, he's very pleasant.
He is.
Very pleasant. And even though, like, it's almost one of those things, like, you show up to the Starlight and you're like, well, what the? I'm not fucking staying here. But then this nice little old man comes out and starts talking. And you're like, okay. I'll give you $20. Give me a room.
We're all a sucker for a nice person with a southern accent.
Oh my God, yes. In the South, that'll get you killed.
Southern hospitality.
Got them killed too.
Well, but I also was wondering, like, if it had something to do with, obviously, like, Buck was, like, providing him with some form of, like...
Drugs.
Drug. So, I wonder if it was, like, messing with him.
You know, there were a few times where I thought maybe, is Buck his child? Like, just the way that he called him, he called him boy, right? But, like, they had a very weird relationship.
Called him old man.
And I thought, I wonder if Buck
Maybe.
is his child. Maybe Buck is his child from, like, some prostitute.
I was about to say.
And that's
why he hates prostitutes.
that was just something I thought. I mean, they don't ever, like, allude to that at all, but I thought, I mean, that could be.
I mean, this is one of those movies where you don't get answers, though.
Yeah.
You don't get anything.
Well, a lot
it
of
is what
people
it
think
is.
that the villain is always scarier when there's not
Oh,
a motive,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
So there is
no motive. Yeah.
Well, and what about the picture? When he shows Judd the picture, Judd's like, nope, never seen her before. Like, he didn't even, like...
He didn't flinch.
He didn't flinch. He didn't, like,
hesitate.
stutter. Yeah.
He's just like, nope, don't know her.
Don't know her, but I got a room open. You want one? Like, very...
Spoken like a true psycho, though.
I mean,
Right?
yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're in that moment, I'm sure he probably did it because he's like, I'm not going to get caught.
Save himself? Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to light my ass off.
So, I mean, that pretty much... I mean, there's a lot of little things that happen, I think, in that second act. But, you know, eventually Harvey and Libby, they meet up with Sheriff Martin, who chaperones them around town to ask questions about Carla's disappearance. And then meanwhile at the Starlight Hotel, all hell breaks loose. Roy's murdered, Faye's tortured, and Angie's running amok under the damn hotel.
She's crawling.
She's crawling. First, let's just talk about Brave, because if I was a, 5-year-old little girl or little boy, I would not be crawling under a house where there could be spiders.
No. There's so much shit under that.
A lot of shit.
Like, why
and
is
she
this
just
all
keeps
under there?
Going, it's never ending.
Deeper
never
into
ending.
it. Yeah.
That was actually one thing. I was like, how big is the under of this fucking house?
I know.
She was just crawling around forever.
Yeah.
Forever. She never stopped.
Nope.
She never stopped.
I mean, no lie. Her role in this movie is probably 75% under that house.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. It is. And so while all this crazy shit's going on, Buck forces his way into a room with his lover Lynette, not Annette as I had thought, and soon becomes crocodile food himself.
Yeah. Poor Judd. R.I.P.
Poor Judd.
I mean, I'm drunk. Poor Buck.
I was like, why are you feeling sorry for him? Why are you feeling sorry for Buck trying to have booty sex with all these women that don't want to do it?
He just wants to get off.
I mean, okay,
he just wants to have a good time.
Obviously, he's a skis ball, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I feel like that was the thing back then. They were very much playing on the whole like chauvinistic male figure. Like, I get all that stuff, but can we just talk about the fact that I always appreciate that they're not afraid to put men in whitey tighties in these movies?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to see necessarily Robert Englund in whitey tighties, but it's always nice to see.
Yeah, but Robert Englund wasn't an unattractive man. He was just very interesting looking.
Yes.
And now that, like, we're, obviously we're going to talk about the end of the movie, but you can definitely tell this is a Tobe Hooper film.
Oh.
It has his fingerprints all over it. It is dirty. We mentioned that a lot. Now, I have a question that I want to ask before I forget. Would you prefer Eaten Alive or Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Like, as a movie to watch, which one do you prefer?
Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw.
Y'all are fucking going to think I'm crazy, but
Eaten
I
Alive?
thought Eaten Alive was so much better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I mean,
Each their
I'm a
own.
little surprised.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not like a huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan anyway. I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
But watching this movie, I was like, okay, I would watch this again.
I don't even know what to say.
I mean, I know what to say. because I didn't even want to break it out again to have to do this script that we're about to read here in a few minutes.
Oh, God.
I liked it. But anyway, so, Michael, what'd you think of the ending?
I thought it was weird. There was a lot of weird things. I thought it was weird how the sheriff, played by Stuart Whitman. I have to mention Stuart Whitman. He was in a movie I love called Night of Lepus with Janet Leigh, so I was excited to see him in here. But I thought it was weird that he went off with Libby. The dad drove off back to the hotel, and then they were...
She was hungry. Remember?
They only had coffee, and I put in my notes... I clearly put in my notes, you can't thank the waitress for bringing your fucking coffee. That pissed me off. And I'll tell you why it pissed me off. Southern hospitality is a big fucking myth. It's not true.
Yeah, it's because all the Northerners have come in and taken over.
Southern people are the rudest, shadiest people I've ever met in my life.
Okay, shady I'm not going to argue with.
Well, yeah, because we're real quick to
bless your heart,
and say something nice to your face, turn around and
myth.
talk about you behind your back. That's definitely a Southern trait, especially among the, elite women of the South.
It sure is. Those red hat ladies we talked about.
I don't know. I thought the sheriff was trying to get in her pants. It was weird to me.
Well, I will say there for a minute, she almost seemed like she was attracted to him.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, what's going on?
I thought, are we going to have a love connection here? But
Might as well.
It didn't go there, but...
No.
But he seemed very protective of her, too.
Yeah, because he wanted to get in her pants.
I mean, for a minute, because, sometimes these movies, take, a turn, right? Mm-hmm. I was half expecting there to be, some connection between Hattie and Judd, outside of the fact that we find out that, obviously, Judd used to frequent the whorehouse.
Maybe that's Buck's mother.
Could be.
I mean, you never know. But, I thought that there was going to be... Well, because I thought it was going to be one of those things where, all this shit's happening at Starlight Hotel.
Everybody's in on it.
And everybody's in on it, and that's why nobody's ever found out.
Well, obviously, Miss Hattie knew something, because she was like, be careful when you go over there. Don't say anything. So people know.
Yeah.
Especially Miss Hattie.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean...
Well, I even put in my notes, the sheriff sure is, cozy with Hattie and Ruby.
Yeah.
Which, we didn't really mention Ruby, but she's Hattie's, I guess, assistant. Or, a house mother of some sort. But he's clearly been there before.
Yeah.
I mean...
I'm sure it's small East Texas. They've all been there.
I mean, yet another, best little whorehouse connection.
Yeah.
Sheriff in the whorehouse.
Yeah. So, what did you think of Roy's demise? Were you... I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of happy to see him go.
He was
this
weird.
guy's fucking crazy. Clearly is terrible for Faye and Angie.
Yeah.
He needs to go.
Yeah, the whole cigarette scene, I'm like, what the
On
fuck?
the floor and
barking and...
barking
Yeah.
Yes, when he was barking.
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, and then when he, was, clenching his fist behind her head, making that weird face, and... I was like, what? I don't understand, what's going on. I felt like it was, maybe he was pissed at her, so that was, his way of, showing...
Frustration?
Right, but, I feel like you could have probably done that a little differently than making him clench his fist and make this weird, teeth-grinding face.
Yeah.
All this loud, obnoxious music in the background.
Well, it's a Tobe Hooper movie, let's not forget. I gotta say, I was a little shocked that... Not shocked that Buck, I fully expected him to get his somehow, but, Lynette, I thought for sure that bitch was gonna be going over the railing and into that croc's mouth, and she got away.
Yeah.
I was like, good for her. Good for Lynette. Running
in
topless.
those woods.
Yeah.
Barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some fancy phrase.
She was.
And then didn't she get a hitchhiker to or
yeah.
Which
was reminiscent of...
She got a car to stop or something. And I was like, well, it's the South in 1970. What man is not going to stop for a barely dressed woman?
I thought that was a little homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, though. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, it could have been. For sure. But yeah, she got away, which was odd to me because I'm like, this is such a minor character.
Any
I'm
straight man's
surprised.
going to pick up a topless woman.
But so then obviously at the ending we've got
Libby.
We've got Faye, and poor little Angie still running around under the house. Like, did you expect all three of them to make it?
No, I was expecting one of them to die at least.
I almost was expecting Faye to die.
Yeah.
And Libby, she just seems like the hero, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought, oh, well, Faye's going to get it. Libby's going to save little Angie, and they're going to live happily ever after together. Because, at this point, Harvey's dead too. So that's just the three girls left.
Yeah. Libby saved the day. I mean, Faye was pretty much worthless by the end. I'm like, get the fuck up. Why are you crawling around on the deck? Oh, my God.
Yeah, she was. And when he unleashed, I will tell you, when he unleashed he opened the gate so the croc could get under the house. And I was like, okay, I draw the line at a croc eating little Kyle Richards.
She almost got it.
She did.
And
it's funny because I never really considered Kyle Richards like a final girl. Not really, because, her part was so small in the original Halloween. And then, of course, in Halloween Kills, she does make it.
Yeah.
But her role is still very minor. But, like, she was a main character in this movie, and she made it. And I thought, look at that. Kyle Richards, the final girl.
She is.
I was very excited about it.
Can finally say it.
I know. We need to go back and do our list because she would be on.
Would she be on your list now?
I think I mentioned her as an honorable mention.
Yeah, Lindsay Wallace.
I think I did. I can't remember. That was a long time ago.
You may have.
That was a long time ago.
I did put in my notes because we talked about how dirty the hotel was. There was one point where Judd is like frantic, like upset, and he starts dusting. Do you guys remember this? And I'm like,
no.
Yeah.
I'm like, your hotel is fucking disgusting.
Right.
And you're fucking dusting. Like, it's not going to make any difference.
Well, I actually put in my notes something about, I was like, no wonder why they don't ever fucking turn the lights on here. Nobody.
It was so gross.
Stained walls.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was disgusting.
It's never seen a vacuum. It was gross.
No. And then, I mean, you had like that, the whole place was like lit up in red.
The lighting in
was
this
weird.
movie was weird, but I kind of liked
it. It fit.
It made it more gritty and dirty.
Yeah.
Like, you would expect to see that kind of lighting, to me, in a whorehouse. And you do see it at the beginning, but it continues through the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I kind of appreciated it.
Yeah, no, well, because I feel like it's one of those things where, like, red is kind of one of those colors that evokes, like, almost like anger and things like that. So I feel like that was obviously purpose.
And there's a lot of angry bitches in this movie.
Right.
There is.
There's a lot.
You cue the red lights, you cue that terrible music, and it's just going to be like everybody's pissed and just wants
The set design.
I did love the music. I loved the old country music even playing in the background.
I did put that old country radio. I'm like, you're in the South.
Yeah, I liked that it was always on in the background, always. And it did. It fit with like the scenes. I thought it was, I don't know, I just liked that. I thought it was well done.
Oh, we didn't talk about Judd's wooden leg. Do you guys think that was from a crocodile incident or a war incident?
No, I mean, Hattie says it.
Was it a crocodile?
House that it was the crocodile.
Yeah.
Is the one that.
And then at the end, that's what you see. Don't you see his leg floating at the end? Yeah. That's how it ends.
It's funny that you mentioned that now, because now it makes me think that Judd is his father even more.
Why you say
Now that you say it, I do think that could be true.
Because the crocodile, like, let's say he had that crocodile, Buck got into the water, crocodile got him, and then Child Protective Services came and took Buck away.
Yeah. I think you're
Probably
right.
didn't happen like that.
But the more you talk about it, I could see that.
Yeah.
The way they interacted. He also provided Judd with drugs, though, too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like there's so many, like you said.
There's unanswered, and we're never
Yeah.
going to get answers for him.
Well, and even when he shows up, when Buck shows up at the hotel at the end with Lynette, he's like, we're taking a room. Judd doesn't really do anything. He's just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like,
I mean, he doesn't want him to, but he doesn't stop him.
Right, exactly.
Well, and then because that first time, like, Buck rolls up, he makes the comment about, get out of here. I've actually got, like, real people here.
Yeah. Yeah, Faye tied up and
Yeah, real people.
Angie crawling around under the house.
Real dead people. So, before we discuss our overall ratings,
Yeah.
was there anything else you wanted to add?
Did you say Michael?
Either one of you. Michael's throwing his pencil
yeah.
around. So
I was throwing my...
Well, so not necessarily about the movie, but I did like a little bit of research myself, like prior to this.
Yeah.
And so, did you know that apparently this was like supposedly like kind of based off of like a real life serial killer,
I did know that.
Joe Ball?
no, I didn't know that.
I got it right here in my notes.
They called him
Wow.
an Alligator Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was down in Texas.
In Texas?
Yeah, like, I mean, so obviously this is a very dramatic.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like the Texas Chainsaw
Retelling,
Massacre.
yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought that was
Well,
interesting.
I saw some posters online, and there was another. This was called something. A lot of those movies in like the late 70s and like 80s would have like different
Working titles or
yeah,
different
different
names.
titles. They'd
Yeah.
be called different things, different places. But this one, I saw a poster. It was called the Starlight Murders or something like that.
I had also seen it was called Death Trap at one point
Yeah.
as well.
And I was like, I kind of wouldn't have minded it being called Starlight Murders
Yeah.
over Eaten Alive. Because,
Most of them are dead, though, before they get eaten alive. So.
Well, and the thing is, Eaten Alive, like even when you see the poster, like you see Judd, riding his crocodile or whatever. But at the end of the day, like the crocodile's part is really small.
I was
really
expecting
I was expecting a
a
lot
creature
more from the-
feature,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a creature
Well,
feature.
yeah, I mean, with the title like Eaten Alive, you expect
Yeah.
to see. But like reading up a little bit on the Joe Ball murder stuff, apparently that was what he didn't necessarily feed like humans to the crocodile, but they did talk about how I guess he fed them like dogs and cats and
Oh,
things.
God.
Which made me think maybe that's why they implemented like
Snoopy.
Snoopy and even the monkey, like
Yeah.
so other animals is kind of like what he was like feeding them.
Yeah.
Because why was he? Because I don't know if you.
Oh, it was a
noticed,
zoo,
like, yeah, like there was a sign on the
Yeah.
hotel that said zoo with an arrow pointing. This
and he has a
way,
dead monkey
and
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 a
a
crocodile.
and I'm just sitting.
Oh,
here
it ain't
I'm
no
like,
petting
so,
zoo.
No.
Yeah. Like, why is he not like I guess feeding this monkey?
Yeah.
Like if it's your pet monkey.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he just let him die. Because the monkey literally just kills over at one point. And that's
Yeah.
just it.
I thought that was really random. At first, I
Oh,
was
the
like,
way the monkey's
is
like-
this monkey like
What's going
trying to
on?
play a joke?
Yeah.
He's trying to play a joke on little Angie because it was real quick. Mm-hmm. I thought that was weird.
Just adds to the grittiness of this movie.
Okay, kids. Before we give you guys our final reviews of the movie, we're going to move on to our favorite segment we like to call Horror Fried Theater. Mike came up with today's scene, so he's going to tell us a little bit about it.
All right. So to kind of set the scene a little bit, this is actually going to be the scene where Sheriff, Libby, and Harvey all go over to Hattie's
Okay.
to talk to Hattie and see, like, if she knows about Carla, blah, 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 blah. So, with that being said, I cannot wait for this.
Oh, God.
I don't even
I'm
remember that
nervous.
scene that
I
well.
don't. No, I don't either.
And just so you guys know, like, Mike picked this himself, so me and Michael have no idea.
yeah, we're just learning it right now.
Yeah. And he had two to pick from, and this is the one Michael picked.
Yes.
So I don't know what was the. I'm just curious. What was the
The
other?
other one was the scene where Roy and Faye pull up to the Starlight for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Interaction with Buck and, like, all that stuff.
Got it.
So, I mean, I guess to be fair, considering Michael doesn't like to do ones with a lot of lines, this one probably is going to benefit you more.
Thank God.
So, do I need to tell you who you're playing first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so because this one technically has 4 characters.
Okay.
Okay, so actually, you know what? We'll just set the scene a little bit more. There's actually 5 because Libby and Harvey I put down as 1.
Okay.
But Harvey has no lines in this scene.
Okay.
So it's really just Libby
It's
talking.
just Libby.
Okay. Okay.
So the only people that have talking parts is Sheriff Martin, Libby, Hattie, and Ruby.
Okay.
I have you down as doing the Sheriff and Ruby.
Okay.
And then you are Hattie.
Okay.
Oh.
And I'm going to be Libby.
Oh, man. Okay.
So, the moments in between lines.
The first thing I see is, in parentheses, thick Southern accent. And I'm like, I was made for this. Okay.
All right. You want to start? You ready? Pulling up to Hattie's with the sheriff in his cop car, they walk up to the door quietly and knock.
Mr. Martin, how do you do? Come on in.
Walks into Hattie's office.
What is it?
Miss Hattie, Mr. Martin, some friends are here to see you.
Oh, show 'em on in. Show 'em in.
Come in, folks.
Martin, you old hunk, is that you? Where the hell you been keeping yourself?
How are you, Hattie?
Oh, just fine. How are you?
Good. Say, listen, I got some friends here who want to have a little word with you.
Well, how do you do, folks? How are ya? Just sit right down. Make yourself right at home. My name is Rebecca. Folks call me Hattie. Where you folks from?
Houston.
Houston? Say, would you be interested in a real good buy? I got a little piece of property up at the Heights. I could sell it to you real cheap because it needs a little fixing up. Lots of folks moving in there. Young folks. Fixing things up.
Hattie?
Huh.
This is Mr. Harvey Wood.
How do you do? Pleased to meet you.
And this is his daughter, Libby.
Hi.
Now, Mr. Woods believes that you're acquainted with his daughter.
Harvey shows Hattie a picture of his daughter.
Never saw her before in my life.
Dad, you want to go now? Let's go get something to eat, okay?
Where you folks staying?
Oh, Starlight Hotel.
Judd's? That old reprobate? I didn't know he's still taking folks in, old goat. That place about to fall down, ain't it? Old Judd used to be regular around here, but I had to run him off, old fool. All he wanted to do was just look and talk his crazy fool talk. Scared the girls, too. Say, you know what he said? He says that big gator of his really a crocodile from Africa. He say those things don't die. You gotta kill them. He's the one that tore off old Judd's leg. That's right, tore it clean off and ate it.
Hattie.
Huh?
These people have had enough today. I think I'll take them back to the hotel.
Oh, yeah. Well, I expect you're right. I get to talk and you folks come back if you're ever this way now.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Yes, indeed. Now, you think about that piece of property now. You can come up with it. You'll like it. It's got a big pecan tree in the front yard. Bye there, sweetheart. Silly fool.
There you go. End scene.
Scene. Oh my God.
I can honestly say that I will not be listening to that one back. I don't know how I feel about that. All right. You know what time it is? Time for our final thoughts.
Oh.
So here at Heart Fried, we rate our films using the heat scale of Nashville hot chicken. So we'll be using these temperatures on a scale of 1 to 5. No spice, mild, medium, hot, and Nashville hot. Who wants to start us off?
I mean, okay, I didn't hate it. I'm gonna give it a mild though for me.
Okay.
It was just a little too dirty and like gritty and unsettling for me.
You dirty boy.
I don't like things to make me feel like
You've been doing math all day.
but yeah, I mean, so yeah, I'm a mild. It's
Okay.
a mild for me.
Oh, for me, I give it a medium. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's just kind of middle of the road for me.
Yeah.
Backing on Mike, it's a little too gritty and dirty and gross for me.
Unanswered questions. I mean, really,
Yeah.
I just kind of walked away from it like, I mean, okay, I guess I just watched that.
Why did all this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also was expecting it to be creature feature, and I love a creature
do, I
feature,
know.
and this was not a creature feature. I don't even know what the hell you'd call this. It's not a slasher, really, but it is. Well, it's kind of a slasher. Not really.
I mean, not really.
It is what it is. Tobe Hooper.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a Tobe
it's a
Hooper.
Tobe Hooper
You can
movie.
totally tell it's a Tobe
Yeah.
Hooper movie.
Yeah. I mean, I gave it a medium, like a solid medium. Did I love it? No. But yes, I already spoke to liking it more than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But if you know me, you know I'm not that big of a fan of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. But I really liked it. I liked that it was super dirty. I liked the lighting. I liked the music. I really liked the characters. Actually preferred Marilyn Burns in this versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought her character was a lot more interesting.
I agree with you there.
Of course, love little Kyle Richards, so that was great. I thought Robert Englund was great in it. I really liked the cast overall. I think everybody did a really good job.
Yeah.
I'm also just going to say with this horrified theater segment that we just did, I was going to be Buck in that other scene that we had listed.
Oh.
You didn't pick it.
That would have been fun. Oh.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was a fun one.
I feel like this movie was a movie that I actually put this down too. It's like, I feel like I can smell this movie.
Yeah.
And it's gross.
Like dirty carpet and cigarettes.
And cum.
Stale cigarettes.
Oh.
Yes.
The whole place smells like cum.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I did like it, and I would probably watch it again. I would love to see... So I watched it on DVD. I would love to see an upscaled version, because I know there's a Blu-ray, and I found some photos.
See a nice transfer of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it looks really good. But I don't know. Like, part of me really...
It kind of adds to it.
It does kind of add to it. So, because, you know, like, some of it was kind of dark. You couldn't really see... especially all the scenes with Kyle.
Yeah.
Angie under the house, like it was very it was hard to see some of that. So
I mean,
sometimes the Blu-rays like almost
make it
because when you enhance
unreal.
It looks too perfect.
Yeah,
it does, and it kind of takes away from like the cheap kind of look, which
and that's obviously aesthetic he was going for with this was cheap, dirty, gritty, and that would take away from it. So
yeah, I agree. All right, any final thoughts?
No.
What do we have coming up? Anything?
Town That Dreaded Sundown?
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next
Town
episode.
That Dreaded Sundown. So that'll be
another Texas
soon.
movie, or is that Oklahoma?
Well, it's Texarkana, so it's
kind of
Texas, kind of Arkansas.
Oh.
Which for those of you that might be just hearing that for the first time, we do have our list of movies.
Yeah, go watch them.
Posted on our Instagram page. So
yes, they are on there. And we can post them again too, just to kind of remind people. So we want to hear from y'all. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Horrified Podcast and slide into those DMs. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and rate the Horrified Podcast on your favorite streaming service. Links are available on our Instagram page. We appreciate y'all. Now it's time to swap spit and hit the road. Until next time, remember, there's not a pot too crooked that a lid won't fit.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, why don't you just take that cigarette and grind it out in my eye?